Kazuma Okamoto is set to become the first position player in Yomiuri Giants history to be posted to Major League Baseball. So who exactly is Okamoto, what should his expectations be, and how good is he compared to Munetaka Murakami? Selected by the Giants in the first round of the 2014 NPB draft, Okamoto has been the epitome of consistency since becoming an everyday player in 2018 at the age of 22. He put up 6 consecutive 30-plus homer campaigns, topping at 41 bombs in 140 games in 2023. His streak ended in 2024 when he only hit 27, but it's worth noting that NPB is still in a dead ball era, so that still placed him top 3 in the league. 2025 saw him miss an extended period of time for the first time in his career after a freak collision at first base, and he ended up hitting 15 jacks in 69 contests, which was a 31-homer pace over a full NPB season. With the exception of a slightly down year in 2022, his on-base percentage has never dipped below 340, and his slugging percentage has never fallen under 485. For his NPB career, the Nara native slashed 277, 361, 521 for an 882 OPS or a 147 weighted runs created plus. He had 1,089 hits in 1,074 games, including 212 doubles and 248 dingers. Those numbers aren't quite as eye-popping as some other Japanese talents who made the leap across the pond, like Seiya Suzuki or Masataka Yoshida. But his best years happen to be his last 3 seasons. In fact, he has a 180 WRC plus over that span, which is actually better than Murakami's 3-year WRC plus of 162. So it's fair to say that he's in his prime right now. Of course, the biggest thing that sets Okamoto apart from his good friend Murakami is raw power and age. According to NPB Plus, Okamoto's max exit velocity this past season was 112 miles per hour, which is considerably lower compared to Murakami's 117 miles per hour. And Okamoto will turn 30 years old next year, which is 4 years older than his counterpart, and he's getting closer to that age where bat speed begins to taper off. But I don't think we really care about what happens to him in, say, 4 or 5 years. We want to know what Okamoto is capable of in the near future as he makes the transition to MLB this offseason. And unlike Murakami, Okamoto doesn't have a lot of these red flags in his plate skills. I mentioned in my Murakami video that in-zone contact rate is an incredibly telling statistic when it comes to assessing a player's true hit tool. In their final NPB season, Seiya Suzuki had an 89% in-zone contact rate, Masataka Yoshida had a 92% in-zone contact, and even Yoshitomo Tsutsugo, who struggled in MLB, was pretty respectable at 85.5%. Meanwhile, Murakami embodies a true all-or-nothing approach at 73%. So where does Okamoto fit into this? Boom, 90%. Now, he only had 293 plate appearances in 2025, so you may think that's too small of a sample size, but contact rates actually stabilized pretty quickly, and he has been above 85% in each season since 2020. Now, to be fair to Murakami, he's been the more disciplined hitter over his career with a 16% walk rate, as opposed to Okamoto's 11%. But when you look at chase rate, which measures how often a player swings at a pitch outside the strike zone, Okamoto has improved on this front over the past few seasons and was actually a bit better than Murakami in 2025. His overall splits are pretty straightforward as he hits slightly better against lefties, but is still good against same-handed pitching. Velocity isn't really an issue either. He has a career 157 WRC plus and only a 17% strikeout rate against 93 plus mile per hour fastballs, though of course he'll be facing 95, 96 plus miles per hour much more consistently in MLB, so there should still be an adjustment period. And I'd also like to point out that he hit this grand slam on a 99 mile per hour Roki Sasaki heater in the spring training of 2022, just weeks before Sasaki threw a 19 strikeout perfect game. Another area Okamoto excels in is hitting fly balls, the calling card of all great power hitters. He ranks number 1 in NPB in air percent, which is just any batted ball that isn't a grounder, since 2021 at 67.3%, minimum 1,600 plate appearances. He's also been among the leaders in pulling the ball, which again is the hallmark of many top sluggers. When it comes to base running and defense, Okamoto has well below average speed. He's just not a very good base runner, but his biggest strength would be versatility. He's mostly played third base and first base over his career, but he's also been in left field and is generally not a liability. The advanced metrics are kind of a mixed bag. He's been worth -1 defensive runs saved at the hot corner and -9 at first since the start of 2024, according to Sports Info Solutions, but is a positive fielder according to Ultimate Zone Rating by Deltagraphs. And I would say the eye test is actually fine. I would even describe him as pretty good at times. Now, I'm not saying that he can be an everyday third baseman in MLB. I don't have that kind of confidence at all. But can he play the role of a rover that moves around and gives a team a bit more flexibility to platoon? Absolutely. Now, how about hitter comps for Okamoto? Well, the guys that immediately come to mind for me are the aforementioned Seiya Suzuki and then Christian Walker. I think you can immediately plug him in the middle of the order on a decent team or like the 5-6 hole in a really good lineup and reasonably expect like a 750 to an 850 OPS. Now, his ceiling is definitely lower than Murakami's. There's no doubt about that in my mind at least, but it should be a smoother transition for him as he doesn't have these same glaring flaws that could result in total disaster. So now all eyes turn to where Captain Kazuma Okamoto will land in Major League Baseball. He's honestly a really funny, quirky guy, and wherever he ends up, I'm sure that he's going to have a devoted following of Yomiuri Giants fans supporting him in every step of the way. Thanks for watching. This has been Yuri Karasawa with JapanBall.com. Make sure to check out all of JapanBall's socials on X, Facebook, and Instagram for news, updates, and analysis on Japanese baseball. Also, visit extrainningstravel.com for information on international baseball tours, including to Japan.